Take a look at this adorable puppy. This is a pug, the choice pet of thousands of dog owners worldwide. Now, look at the same breed of dog. These are some of the effects of inbreeding. The nasal passages open directly into the brain. The dog suffers from cranial arthritis. It has ingrown pelvis, 94.5% body fat. This is a puppy mill. There are over 10,000 licensed and unlicensed puppy mills in the United States alone, with 2.5 million puppies sold annually, not to mention any of the puppies that get sold to kill shelters because they don't meet up to the breeder's expectations. Until recently, if you had asked me, Ashley, what's your dream dog? I would have said, without hesitation, definitely an English Bulldog. Why is it that my first response was the name of a specific breed, rather than the personality traits I would hope for in a family pet? After considering this question, I came to the conclusion that my response was solely based on my desire for specific physical attributes that only English Bulldogs possess. I chose to research the process of dog breeding and was quite surprised with my findings. Merriam-Webster defines purebred as bred from members of a recognized breed, strain, or kind without admixture of blood over many generations. What was the original purpose of dog breeding and when did it begin? Selective dog breeding first occurred in England during the Victorian era of the 19th century, when eugenics was all the rage. While the oldest known breeds were created as utility dogs, up to 90% of the known breeds of today were actually only created about 100 years ago. Why? What's the purpose of dog breeding? Some dogs are bred strictly because of their physical attributes. Some dogs are bred for their known temperament or their abilities, but these are very few. So what are the risks of pure breeding? What are some perceived benefits? Now we come to the dark side of breeding. 1 in 4 purebred dogs are affected with genetic deformities of over 300 varieties. 60% of golden retrievers die of cancer, and 10,000 pugs have the same genetic diversity as only 50. French bulldogs suffer from blood disorders, spinal problems, a cleft palate, and are far more susceptible to heat stroke. Here are some unsafe breeding practices. You have traditional pure breeding. This is father-daughter, mother-son. This is siblings. Then you have line breeding, which is mating half siblings, uncles with nieces, first cousins, etc. Lastly, you have your backyard breeders. According to Wikipedia, backyard breeder is a general term, often considered derogatory, used in the USA to describe people who breed animals, often without registration, leading to narrow inbreeding, which is what we talked about earlier, or the traditional pure breeding. This is a breeding stand, something that's commonly confiscated from large-scale dogfighting operations. What this device is designed to do is restrain an unwilling female dog and force her to breed with the desired stud. Now you may be wondering, what are some benefits or perceived benefits of pure breeding? According to Animal Care College, selective breeding ensures the quality of the dog. That's their perspective. All right, let's take a look at some alternative methods to the methods we discussed earlier. The first one is called crossbreeding. This is the act of mixing 2 purebred dogs from different breeds in the hopes to weed out some of those genetic deformities, such as flat noses. Then you have what's called outcrossing. This is the mating of 2 dogs of the same breed that are unrelated for at least 5 generations. Then you have, as an alternative to the breeding stand, artificial insemination. This is where the female is injected with the male's pre-collected sperm. Each of these practices, used alongside a very strict list of guidelines, can in fact produce happy, healthy dogs in some instances. The history of dog breeding as we know it has been a short one, with most modern breeds only having been developed over the past 100 years. However, if the breeding is done correctly, health risks can be avoided.